We're live!
We are live.
How's everyone doing?
We are live. I'm choking on pepper. It's gonna be a great stream.
No? No.
Well, tell the Szechuan peppercorns to stop, like, tingling the back of my throat. Hi, Flower!
Oh, hi. Sunflower.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Can I see game?
How far did we even get last time?
Can I see game?
I have it shared. No?
No, I'm seeing your web browser.
Is it sharing the wrong screen?
Lousy weekend, but trying to rest up and just watch stuff. That's good. That's good. It's always good to just, I'm still seeing the web browser and Discord.
It's this again.
Yeah, I remember you talking last night about some lousy stuff. I hope you're feeling better.
Aww.
Hope, the craziness of last night helped, like, cheer you up maybe a little bit. Last night was a thing.
It was a thing I missed.
I would call it an experience.
I'm so sad I missed.
You missed the one where Joe was literally crying a little bit in laughter.
Oh no. But also good if it's out of laughter. But also, oh no.
Because the jokes were on point last night from chat.
Were you stealing Joe's bits again?
No. I didn't steal anything.
You sound sus.
What? No. Why would I be sus? I didn't do nothing.
Super sus.
Wow, rude.
Yeah?
So rude.
Who to hang out with? I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to share that screen to you and it's not working. So, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Are you able to do it a different way?
No. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, who to hang out with?
Yay, technology!
Sitting on some benches just outside a fried dough stand, Percy and Queen Bee are sharing a funnel cake dusted with white sugar. Seriously? You've never had this stuff before? Not much carny chow in England, I'm afraid. And this is my first time visiting a beach in the colonies. Oh, should I shout out that we're still collecting money for Extra Life and you can still force us to swap voices for 15 minutes? I'm gonna shout that out because I feel like that's good.
Oh no, what are you gonna do? Why are you doing this to us?
I
said, why are you doing this to us?
What? For the children, obviously.
Oh, it is for the children, that is true.
It is for the children. It just also requires that we, like, actually keep an eye on the donation page during the time. But, you know, for the children! For the children, that's still open. Wait, you can eat this, right? I mean, it's basically fried grease and sugar. Your heart won't explode? It's not an issue of artery congestion, and Lord knows I eat plenty of instant ramen and fast food. One little sugary treat won't be the tipping point. Oh, hey, Bottom! Join us! No way we can eat this huge thing by ourselves. I settle in to pick at the delicious fried dough, just like I used to have back when we came here regularly.
nom, 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 nom.
So Percy and I were talking shop, and even if you aren't a pro gamer, maybe you've got some valuable input, you know? See, our moopyaholic buddy here doesn't believe in being a full-time professional gamer.
Don't think so.
It's not that I don't believe in it, I just don't see it as a stable occupation for a young person to undertake. If you're entirely reliant on the wavering loyalty of corporate sponsors and streaming subscribers alongside any prize money you may or may not be winning, well, I suppose I'm just too risk-averse to walk that path. I prefer a sound investment. Whereas I love risk. No risk, no reward. Yeah, at any moment it could all come crashing down and I end up living in my parents' basement again. But I love to fight for my future. Just like Bottom. They were an unemployed bum before finding the Funplex, so nowhere to go but up.
Hey now. You're an all-star.
What?
Put your game on. Go play.
She is an all-star, sort of.
It's not like it was a troll living under a bridge. I wasn't exactly calling a cardboard box home and selling matches to passing strangers to survive the cold, cold winter. I was between jobs, sure, but I could have taken other opportunities, including ones at Juniper's office, for that matter, if you told me.
And you didn't. You chose the Funplex. Or maybe the Funplex chose you, but look, that's not my point. I'm not saying my path's for everyone. Abandoning the safer road in favor of the wild ride, it takes a certain mindset to make that work. But I promise you that those of us willing to make that leap are having a more rewarding life as a result. Satisfying, not rewarding. Being a school teacher is satisfying, but sadly society does not reward it its due. Many paths in life are also fraught with disaster due to this. It's survivorship bias. People see rock stars and football heroes and think they can make it big too, but those success stories are a percent of a percent of a percent. And what happens later in life to the sports hero who abandoned all other paths? What skills do you fall back on when your window closes? You've succeeded so far, Queen Bee, but remember not too long ago you were terrified of being drummed out for your team and tossed on the street. I wouldn't say terrified. It was more like a mild reluctance at best.
Just pretty scared.
Just mild reluctance is best.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Totally.
absolutely. Just mild reluctance, at best. At worst, crashing into utter anxiety and depression. But, at best, mild reluctance.
That's a mood. That is such a mood. Like, that just sounds like my everyday life at that point.
Yep. Couldn't you pursue dominance in your game of choice without making it your entire existence? I don't really play on Moopy all day. I trade stock in my off hours.
Well, she does pursue dominance in other forms.
Consider a day job with your gameplay occupying the remaining hours. Does she, currently?
Okay, in the future she might be. The not too distant future, question mark?
We did initially do the first impression that basically was summed up by, "Step on me."
Yes, exactly. Hey, you're not
What's that,
so
Mom?
loud today.
Do you also want to be stepped on? I put my foot out and he's now rubbing himself against my foot though.
Dang it, Mug.
But no, he's reaching for the door handle. He wants to go out. He wants to leave my room, but then he's gonna cause chaos and calamity.
Ganon? You said calamity, so I said Ganon.
Yep, totally.
Your cat is Ganon? When did your cat become a pig?
Yep, totally. When he gets fed, that's when he becomes a pig. Why not consider a day job?
Nope, no way.
No way, no how. Fist of Discomfort takes absolute dedication. I can't be at the top of my game, at the top of the game, if I'm also flipping burgers or filing paperwork. Percy, competitive level play requires intensive training. You can't get around the time investment, but you can make it pay double. That's where streaming comes in. Whenever I'm training, I'm streaming. Subs and donations make me money while my skills go up, up, up. It's a win-win. I suppose I can see the need for time investment, yes, but it's not like streaming revenues are stable either. Perhaps Bottom can help settle this question. What do you think? Is it better to wholly devote your life to a risky proposition in search of happiness, or to hedge your bets and find balance?
I think Queen Bee's right. If you want to really devote yourself to something, no matter the risk, you have to go all in. That is why I fail at poker.
Right. Percy, you're still young, you know? You've got time to do something risky and wild. Make it happen! If I had time, I suppose. Oh man. Sorry, Purpur. I didn't mean to imply... No, it's quite alright. Both of you. I see where you're coming from. In your situation, taking chances for a bright future. I suppose you're braver than I, and that's admirable. Exactly! Go for the gold! With the 4 heavenly kings behind me and the funplex keeping me going, I'm headed for the top. Risky? Yeah, but this is what I want. I choose this.
And we'll be right here every step of the way. Even if you forget we exist.
Neglected funnel cake cooling off, the 3 of us focus on putting away our sugary rewards after that.
Nom nom nom.
We're each walking different paths, but I can't say any of us are willing to settle for anything less than our dreams in the long run. Wait, is Percy still... Okay, no, we did get 1 point with Percy.
Yeah, you were like, no, we're gonna get 1 point with Percy.
We shouldn't 100% neglect Percy.
Hey, Percy was there!
Percy was there. Percy is currently here. We're not siding with him, but he is here.
It's more, hey, Percy is there, than hey, Tao's there!
Who to hang out with?
Hey, Tao's there!
Yep, he's there.
Are you gonna go see him?
Nah, he was just there.
So you're saying we're not gonna go see Tao?
Nope.
Rude!
I mean, because Teo and Naomi are both our next highest, so we don't need to. Let's see how the other employees are doing. The ones who aren't Naomi.
Know how they're doing? They're skipping along the boardwalk. I'm a skee ball wizard. I am gonna win it.
How dare you not go see my husband?
Wait, who's the husband?
I'm guessing Teo?
Ah, okay.
Well, we're doing Teo route next anyway.
That is true. Teo is dated next.
He's next in the queue of all of the people we're gonna date.
Yes, we have a line forming. Next, you're the next one being dated. Come on, keep the line moving, people. Let's go.
Teo is accidentally a slightly more charismatic version of me, my fiance. That's cute.
That is really cute. Come on, gotta keep the line moving. Come on.
Just tell your fiance to get Infinisand more often.
Wink more.
Yep. Just Infinisand!
Infinisand everywhere.
The winner is me! Whee!
Teo, you're the next contestant on The Bottom is Right. Come on now. Is the bottom right or is the bottom wrong or left?
I want to name our next character Tippy Tap Bottom. What? He's a dancer. Hi, Joe!
Tippy Tap on nothing. I'm dying. Oh. I thought I was done laughing for the weekend.
Before our stream? No.
Yeah. You should have heard me last night. Oh my gosh. My roommate thought I was going crazy with how hard I was laughing.
And it's okay, Joe. I'm still eating my lunch here.
Flower and Joe were killing me.
Guys, please don't kill Sharky.
Oh,
I need him for this stream.
Oh. Are you sore from last night? I'm exhausted. Actually, I went to bed like immediately after the stream ended. I woke up at like 7. I'm like, no. Woke up at 10 and I'm like, I'm still tired. Why? Dang it, Joe.
My God, what did I miss?
So Joe was like, hey, I want to take suggestions on the arcade name.
I am sorry, you're what now?
Flower was like, call it the Fun Hole.
Oh dear.
And Flower went crazy with making jokes about the Fun Hole.
I see.
Oh. It was just crazy on point with everything. Like, oh my gosh, Flower was just so good with the jokes.
I mean, a Flower did write this very entertaining game.
That
Along
he
with
is
Anna.
He is an incredibly funny person.
So, do we believe in ghosts or not?
I see. I don't know how I didn't see Flower's fingerprint on that before now. Oh, that was Flower, all right.
Yep.
And then it just kept going and going and going.
Yep.
Ah.
Sharky contributed. What did you contribute to the fun hole?
Joe! Stop ratting me out!
What did you contribute to the fun hole? Not innocent!
You're a snitch. Oh my gosh. Do we believe in ghosts? Have we said all 3 of the answers yet?
I don't think so.
I don't know which one we haven't said. We said that one.
That works. See, he's changing the subject.
It's fine. You don't know what
He's calling you a snitch. He's threatening to give you stitches in the form of a Sharky plushie.
I would love to have a Sharky plushie. I would love to be able to send people Sharky plushies. If I knew how to make a plush, I totally would try.
She's trying to appropriately credit your contributions to the show, Sharky.
Oh, I didn't really contribute that much. It was Flower.
Excuse me, Sharky contributed. Your name is in all caps here.
Oh,
You're not
Lord.
innocent.
And then I think Joe's partner contributed. Somebody else contributed a few. Oh man, it was great. Glass balloon sculpture.
Yeah, in fact, I think before you went to bed, I suddenly got a message from you going, "Oh man, you missed a great Joe stream," and then I went, "Fuck." I missed it.
You're like,
I was
darn.
out buying 27 pounds of rice.
Jeez.
Well, I ran out of ice. Or, ran out of rice.
You ran out of rice for the rice?
Sorry. Still choking on Szechuan food. But, like, yeah, I ran out of white rice, so I needed to get more. So I got... Well, I got 15 pounds of white rice and 12 pounds of brown rice, which are both pretty normal amounts from what I was seeing in the store. But together, it's 27 pounds of rice total. And now I have a lot of rice at home.
Everyone was involved in the debauchery around the fun hall.
Mm-hmm.
But that will be the last of it.
Why?
Okay. After my analysis, here's where you stand with everybody about your personality. You think after recording 2 episodes today, I know how to speak.
You recorded 2 whole episodes.
Yeah.
Plus
well, I recorded 2 episodes yesterday, but the footage got completely messed up, so I had to re-record them. So I recorded 2 whole episodes today, and you would think I would learn how to speak by then.
I'm debating whether to feel offended as Satan by bless you in the chat. I mean, really, I feel like that's an insult.
Okay. After my analysis, here... Oh my gosh!
Yes,
I'm dying.
You're not supposed to be the one choking. I'm the one eating.
Here's where you stand with everybody and how your personality is shaping up. But now that I've had weeks to understand you better, I think I can adjust these values based on what I know each of them likes in a partner. Naomi is kind, but also has a fiery temper when pushed. She's gutsy, like you! Ashley goes with her gut, and so do you. Gutsy clicks for both of you.
Oh yeah, this was the part where it was confusing.
Yes.
Neither of you should be choking. You can't provide CPR over the internet.
That'd be pretty impressive if you can
That would be pretty
provide
impressive.
CPR over the internet.
It's okay. I won't choke because my cats will bother me until I wake back up.
My roommate's not here right now, so if I choke, I'm gone. And nobody knows.
In fact, Mog will bother me whether I'm choking or not.
Well.
As you can hear the howling in the background. Anyway. All the more reason not to choke then.
Okay, well, if you don't want me to choke, then I should go get some water.
Some water?
Some water! I'll be right back.
Wait, but these are your lines. Well, guess we're sitting here until Sharky gets back. How's everyone doing? I'm just gonna casually put the shout out again that our Extra Life donations are still available for making us swap voices. If anyone wants to see the Queen Bee bottom date where Sharky has to be Queen Bee, or any other part until we hit the goal or through the rest of the year, that's available. I heard a deep sigh. Has Sharky returned? I think Sharky has returned.
The old man is back.
You're younger than me! Mint chip ice cream with cookie dough and Chips Ahoy in it. Mmm.
That sounds amazing.
Yum.
You're making me want that.
Well, go get that for
Ice
yourself.
cream sounds good, so good right now. I want ice cream.
Like, I would want ice cream, but I'm still in the middle of lunch at 3 p.m. Welcome back,
Step
Flower.
away from a bit. Flower
Chinese
missed the debauchery being mentioned.
Should I make the shout out again? I'll make the shout
You
out
can.
again.
You can.
I just did it again while you were gone, but I'll say it again for Flower's sake, is that we still have our Extra Life donations up with all the incentives, and you can make us swap voices for 15 minutes if you donate. Anyway.
Can I order ice cream and have it delivered? So can I order ice cream and have it delivered?
I feel like this just means you have to get mint chip ice cream with cookie dough and then crumble some Chips Ahoy in it.
Let's see.
Pillsbury
We
just
actually
started
do-
selling safe-to-eat cookie dough. Mmm.
Well, see, we
I
actually
think
do
I have
have
seen
Chips
that.
Ahoy, so like I literally could do that.
Then do it. What's stopping you?
The ice cream.
Well, get ice cream.
There is an ice cream place apparently that will do delivery.
Then get ice cream.
Chocolate chip cookie dough, chocolate fudge brownie, mint chocolate cookie, mint chocolate cookie.
Toll House safe to eat raw cookie dough is garbage though. No idea what they did wrong, but it's not great. That's a shame. I just occasionally steal bits of my cookie dough, whether it's safe or not.
Well, I just ordered ice cream.
Good, good. Everyone's got to have their ice cream or food or whatever it is. God, I want to go out and get some proper ice cream at an ice cream shop once this hellscape ends. That would be lovely.
Yeah, no. Like, there's a few things that I'm like, when somebody mentions it, I'm like, man, now I just really. Ice cream's one of those things always. Ice cream and cake, honestly. It's just like ice cream. Ah, man, no, I just want ice cream more.
Cake with ice cream on top.
Oh, that sounds delicious. We're actually getting a cake for Thanksgiving.
Well, are you getting a cake with ice cream on top for your birthday?
No. That would involve
Great, then I'll
celebrating
order
my
you one.
birthday. I'm not celebrating my birthday. Who do you think I am? Somebody who actually cares about my birthday?
I think your roommate might wish you happy birthday.
I might try to stop her. I desperately want the ice cream shop near me called Ice Cream Sandwich to find a new venue and make it come back. Ooh, that's cool.
The ice cream shop in Sandwich called Ice Cream Sandwich.
Yeah,
Yep. That's great.
it's
That's an
amazing.
excellent name.
It is.
Also, that's a great place to live.
Where are you from? Sandwich. What?
Where do you live?
It's called
Sandwich.
Sandwich.
Yeah, in Sandwich. You live between bread and lettuce? Yeah. They make homemade ice cream, cones, and cookies for ice cream sandwiches. Mmm.
So good. I mean, a lot of states have those like, they saw an opportunity and they took it.
And
There's
it's
a lot of
Great
like
success.
states. Like I know my state has a lot of names where you're like, what's it called again?
also the funniest thing about Sandwich is the Sandwich Police. I mean, I once looked up Hell, Michigan, just as a like, what if we
Wait, there's a place called
drove
Hell,
through
Michigan?
here on a road trip? And like, they took advantage of that so hard that
It's
they have
called
like
hell.
they offer. I fully expect them to
Mustard
pull
on their
people over for
sandwich.
excessive mustard on their sandwiches or something.
Amazing.
Yeah. So now that I think about it, I'm like, ah, yes, the hell police. That sounds like all police, actually. Yes.
My face is gonna hurt by the.
Anyway, so here's Ashley getting points for Gutsy, which we didn't understand why. And then Queen Bee.
Covered in ice in the winter.
Yeah. When hell freezes over.
Hell froze over. Queen Bee
I mean,
has a
they
great
let you
sense
get
of
married
humor.
and stuff there.
Ah, yes. Where were you married? Hell.
Where's your marriage? In hell. Where's the wedding? In hell. I'd do that.
Oh, well, guess their ice cream's not getting delivered.
Well,
We're offering you a full refund.
well.
Thanks, place.
Oh no.
I just want ice cream. Where's another place I can order ice cream from?
This is why you should always make sure that you have a steady supply of ice cream in your freezer. I have like 3 different kinds of ice cream in my freezer. At least. Possibly more.
Ice cream. I know I need to like actually have ice cream all the time. They deliver ice cream. Sorry, now I'm ordering ice cream, and this is going to be like I am sorry.
You're determined now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Ice cream. Now, what can they deliver? The only other place, one of the places I'm seeing is Wawa. Let's just get some stupid Wawa ice cream.
I mean, if it's from Wawa, can you get like one of the pints delivered?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, but it's what pint?
Then you can hopefully also keep ice cream in your freezer at home. So you don't have to go through this whole ordering delivery hoop. Aw, that's what happens when you flail around like that.
Ice cream is not one of those. Okay, I have to go quick and lock the door. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Well. Preston and Steve ice cream. What is Preston and Steve ice cream? I haven't heard of that one. It sounds fancy.
Wait, what?
Preston and Steve ice cream. Have you heard of that? I haven't heard of that. Ooh. The morning radio show of a rock station in Philly made an ice cream flavor. That reminds me of the Ben and Jerry's flavors, I think, where they have or have various comedians.
Flower.
Oh no, the dangers of too much junk food. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I
that
still
you're
want ice
sad.
cream.
Just, you know, have some vegetables and then have the ice cream. Or have a vegetable flavored ice cream. Maybe a little weird, but not that weird. There's a place not too far from me actually that does really interesting ice cream flavors, and I think over the summer they had like corn flavored something, or like tomato flavored ice cream. I think they had like tomato strawberry, which is really interesting but surprisingly good.
Gadzooks
You can
ice
have a
cream,
little ice
apparently.
cream as a treat.
Interesting. Anyway, Queen Bee has a great sense of humor and a real go-getter attitude. You're both quirky and gutsy, meaning you're a great match.
It's too late,
Both
both for
late.
delivery and because of my acid reflux.
Oh,
Oh no. I'm sorry. A few local gelato places that do very interesting, unique flavors. Ice
Hold on
cream
one
for
second.
breakfast.
Wait, why am I getting a call from Chicago?
Are you ordering through Grubhub? Because if you're ordering through Grubhub, then yeah, any numbers that call you through them look like they're from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're originally from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it rained down the road. It's okay.
Hold
It's
on one
okay,
second.
but I hope you feel better. Yes, Sharky. I guess he's on the phone. Hopefully this ice cream order works better than the last one for him. Now I
That was
want
weird.
ice cream.
So they called me, they're like, oh yeah, there's this one that you ordered from. And I'm like, you guys gave me a full refund. Like, I thought you canceled the order. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Grubhub is originally based in Chicago. I don't know if their headquarters are still there, but I think that's where it started as a startup. And I remember when I was younger, actually, like being on the train and seeing Grubhub ads. And then when I moved for college, I didn't see them anymore. But then one day, the local like delivery service that I think was Campus something like Campus Food or Campus Chow, something like that. I don't know. But they got bought out by Grubhub, and then I remember
Really?
getting like Grubhub vouchers or something as part of the buyout because they wanted to make sure that they didn't lose customers in the process. And now Grubhub is a fucking giant.
Oh,
With
massive.
this shady ass shit.
Massive, massive, massive. It's a massive, massive, massive.
And does shady ass shit.
Yeah.
As massive corporations do.
Anyway.
Anyway. Did you finish this line?
You're both quirky and gutsy, meaning you're a great match. Percy's determined to live out the rest of his days in good cheer and good humor. Or is it humor with a U? He's British, right? Oh, and quirky, like you. Tale is to have fun. I'm sure both of you quirky funsters would get along well. So the only person we didn't get points for was Gavin?
I mean, yeah, because he's the opposite traits as Queen Bee. We know this.
Gosh dang.
I mean, the confusing thing is always that
Ashley being
Ashley and
possessed.
Teos are swapped here.
Yeah.
But in this case, I guess it doesn't matter because we got a half thing with both of them.
Yeah.
Also, it doesn't matter because we're not dating them anyway.
Yeah. And that's everybody. In my final analysis, I think you are the best possible match for...
Percy. Gavin. Percy and Gavin?
Queen Bee, Teo, Naomi. All three would make a fine companion for you, Bottom. Queen Bee, Tao, and Naomi all get along well with you and match your personality. It was more than just there! Yeah, we stuck a bit close to the archetypes for our new challenger. It always just, when we get to the point, I'm always just like, oh right, yeah, that was a thing.
Hmm?
Ashley, like,
Oh,
it's
right.
always just
yeah.
like,
Well, it was
oh,
confusing
right.
because when we were doing her route, and I guess this will come up again when we do Teo's, was that
I hear
they
Kitty said.
were swapped so that, yes, Mog is like, why are you not spending more time around Gavin and Percy? Meow! Meow! Mog loves Gavin and Percy, and he wants to know why we're not doing more time
Man,
with
and now
them.
dinner's here, so now I'm going to go get food. Man, I'm just hopping in and out.
Mog has great taste, doesn't he? Doesn't he? He has such great taste. And then he takes like random fabric scraps from when I was actually getting around to some of my clothing DIY stuff that I was trying to do last night, and then tries to eat them. And then he doesn't have such great taste. Then he gets sprayed. But for now, he has great taste and also great determination to leave the room. Keeps reaching for the door handle.
Yeah!
Yes?
So,
What do you mean sub? It's still your lions.
I already read this.
I know. But you left before I
No.
could make the point that you have your ice cream and Chips Ahoy.
No, this is like my actual dinner.
What a shame. You're saying that you're not having ice cream with Chips Ahoy for dinner?
No, I'm having like my actual dinner.
What a shame. But I was gonna say, yes, Naomi gets along so well with us down here. That's it. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Super well. We're super close with her.
I mean, we never went to lunch with anybody but Queen Bee, so it's like we're gonna get rejected.
Mm-hmm. Well, we went to lunch with Naomi, right? During 4. So technically, but like also no.
Oh, so that technically we could reroute to Naomi real quick?
I mean, if you desperately wanted to. I mean, you always have to go to lunch with at least one other person. You have to, because whoever you're after is not available as a lunch option during their focus chapter.
Sorry, to answer the question of what's for dinner, Sharky? Pasta.
Yum. What kind of pasta?
Pasta.
I made the excellent decision after being sad that I no longer get fun mac and cheese shapes because I make homemade mac and cheese. Where I bought mini wheel pasta. That was fun.
That's fun.
Then I made mini wheel mac and cheese.
So the
Mini
mac
wheel
and
and
cheese can
cheese.
that mac and cheese can go room.
No. It can go vroom. Cool.
Are you saying that Okusan is a wheel?
No. Oko-san's faster than a car. Obviously.
Is he Superman? Gotta go fast. So, Queen Bee, Teo, and Naomi.
My sources say yes.
Yes, I calculate you'll have the best probability of success with them.
Numbers. All based on numbers. High score! Yeah, okay, let's just fucking do it.
It's weird, but you know what? My life is weird. It's surfing a deep wave of weird, all the way to the shores of weirdness. So, okay. Hook me up with someone whose numbers match my numbers. I'm ready to go. Great, but I want to make sure you understand what's really going on here. I'm software, right? I have to see the world through numbers. I see a relationship as numbers. I see your vocal temps as numbers. And I score it all. You score a 4, by the way.
Wow, Bottom got real deep voiced there for a sec.
Yeah, apparently.
Alright, so new incentive for extra life donations so we can try to hit our goal. Make Sharky voice Bottom is knocked. Would you do it? You would do it. I think you would do it. You would cry a little inside, but you would do it.
I would cry a little on the outside, probably.
Out of laughter. Nobody?
Nobody?
Playing Kingdom Hearts again?
No, that was earlier. That was earlier. And also, nobody's? Don't worry about them till later. Am I wrong? Hey,
Hello,
Magic.
baby. Okay, so there was only one option here, actually.
Well, we didn't want to get rejected by somebody?
Do you want to go get rejected by Percy real quick? When do
Ooh,
we
yeah.
get the next lecture, oh great and wise Professor Sharky?
Oh, man. Tuesday. And it's actually going to be noon this time. Instead of midnight.
So I still won't be able to watch until after work.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. So sad.
The funny thing is, I prepared a second episode, and I don't know which day of the week I'm going to air it. Because it's going to be this week. I just don't know when.
Aren't you saying you were aiming for like 3 times a week?
No, I was 2 would be...
I think you said
2 is
2,
fine.
maybe 3 times a week. Awesome!
No, I said 1 at the very least. 2 is the ideal that I'm going for. 3 would be like, I'm on a roll. I'm on a dinner roll at that point.
You're the wheel. I didn't know you were Oko-san. I thought I was voicing Oko-san.
But yeah, let's get rejected by somebody. Did we get rejected by somebody last time?
Yeah, we tried getting rejected by Ashley.
Oh yeah, then let's get rejected by Percy.
Yeah, we'll just keep a cycle going of being rejected by our last person.
Yeah. Well, we won't. Then Gavin, we won't get Gavin's rejection.
That's fine.
No, we should get rejected by Gavin.
No. It's fine, we don't need to.
We need to.
No, we don't.
I care for Percy. I think I'm ready to tell him that. Are you sure about him? He cares for you too, but are you sure you're really a good match?
Okay there, Iris.
He may not want a relationship given the ticking clock he's under.
You mean he is. The ticking clock he is. Oh yeah, Bottom, go for it.
Yeah, that doesn't matter for me.
It's just like, okay.
Well, okay. Good luck to you, Bottom.
Percy's laughing and chatting with the others, but steps away on seeing the approach.
Much obliged.
And shut. Bottom, I must admit, this little sojourn has truly been a refreshing experience. Thank you. He's not in love with someone else when you were ignoring him. We didn't completely ignore him. Shoot your shot, Bottom.
What is our bottom shooting?
I don't want to think about what butts usually shoot.
Shot
Important
bottom.
to affirm your existence now and then, yes? To truly reach out to others and feel alive. Shot through the bottom, and you're to
And you're
blame.
to blame.
You give butts a bad name.
I couldn't agree more. That's why you should go out with me, right? And if you'd like, we could go get some food or some drinks, cap off a great day with a great evening. Something fun hole. See?
We give butts a fun hole?
What?
We're just stealing that joke to our stream now. For the time being, at least.
That's the second location of my arcade. Oh. Oh, excuse me.
Oh! Wait, Pi posted the link to the ice cream place.
The fun hole too.
Oh, but I think everyone here should be good to post links. We've made like the regulars thing, and I think regulars are allowed to post links. Ah, I was wondering if you'd ask me that. Bottom, you're a wonderful person. Of that, there's no doubt. But I'm afraid it's just not fair taking things that far with someone in my situation. Not fair to you, not fair at all.
It doesn't sound like Percy wants part of the fun hole. I don't care about that.
You should. Always think long-term, love. Always. I'm afraid I must decline. Not this one. But I know you. I know you'll find happiness elsewhere. Perhaps not even in the long term. Keep your eyes open to the possibilities, always.
Sorry.
He's just not that into bottom. He's into spank.
You just don't fit his preferences.
He's not into this bottom.
Why is it every time with this stream?
What do you mean? This is our stream. There's just so much to unwrap. Like, when you name your character Bottom Top Bottom following Spank Waffle Bottom, there's only so many ways this is gonna go. You asked for this, Sharky.
So many layers. Are we an onion?
Oh, I was gonna say if we're bundled up for the winner, because, I mean, at the end of the unwrapping, I think is bottom.
But really, we're the bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we go to the top, and back to the bottom.
I understand.
Thanks, love. Chin up, eh? You'll endure.
Sorry that didn't work out, Bottom.
Iris trying not to say I told you so.
I told you so, you stupid idiot. Wanna
You
try
stupid
again?
human.
Queen Bee this time!
Just saying her name fills me with excitement. A romance with Queen Bee would be a whirlwind of passion. Her assertive nature and her sassy flair really energize me.
Okay.
I want to be the person who Queen Bee looks to. By her side, cheering her into victory, comforting her when defeated. You set up a franchise, you can spread your funnels wide for everyone to enjoy. You don't have to stop, Flower. No one says you needed to stop. You could just keep going.
You can expose the enjoyment of the fun hole.
Yeah, we're spreading the fun holes wide for everyone to enjoy, like Flower said.
Oh my gosh.
Then anyone can go to a fun hole. Anyone can enter a fun hole.
As long as they have consent.
Uh-huh. Tanya's business needs that.
Ready to sign on the dotted line for Queen Bee's contract of love.
Queen Bee's contract? Is she making Gavin and Percy write up a contract for her?
Mm-hmm. I like your enthusiasm, Bottom. I know that if you're true to yourself, everything will work out for the best, unlike when you ask Percy out. At least that's what I've learned from all your human love stories. Note to self. See if anybody's writing some good finds app love stories.
Tanya literally set up an arcade just like Daiko had proposed.
Yeah, no. Tanya literally set up Daiko's Funplex.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's the base arcade, redemption games.
All games give tickets.
Yeah, like, and the tickets, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I see. This is the best idea ever.
Uh-huh.
So instead of the fun zone, Tanya made the fun hole.
Mm-hmm.
Where all fun goes to die. It won't fail!
Nah. The crowds were there were so many people. The crowds were so thick in the fun hall. Everybody wanted to take part.
You were not innocent.
Really? Really?
You can enjoy a little death at the fun hole. I mean, that's my idea of a good time.
I mean,
As a treat. You can have a little death as a treat.
oh my gosh.
Yeah?
Y'all are making me laugh too much. My roommate's gonna think I'm insane. So my roommate's gonna think I'm insane.
I mean, it's really her mistake for moving in with you without already thinking you're insane.
Wow, rude. Do you think I'm insane?
I think you were insane enough to agree to do this stream with me for the past more than a year and a half.
I think in like 2 months it's gonna be 2 years.
Roughly.
Truth. Anyway. Thanks, Iris. I'm about to go, hopefully, succeed at my own human love story. Wish me luck.
We are insane enough to watch and keep coming back. We're ever confused about it, but thank you. We do appreciate it.
Well, you're not
Thanks for
coming back
hanging
to
out
the
with
fun
us.
hall. Not coming back to the fun hall in this stream, apparently.
Iris waves bye to me as she shuts herself off, leaving me alone with my thoughts. The thrill of getting to ask Queen Bee on a date took over, and I could feel myself start to get nervous. She's a local and internet celeb, way out of my league. What if I'm not cool enough? Oh, you're coming back to the fun hole over and over again. Not to worry, Sharky. last time I checked, I was lukewarm at best on the cool scale. There's no way I'm anywhere as popular, attractive, intelligent, magnificent, perfect. And as I struggle with the thought of how unsuitable I am, the gaming goddess herself approaches me out of nowhere. With a frown, she pockets her phone, then shakes her dour mood free as she turns to face me. Hey, kid.
Oh, hey, Queen Bee. What a pleasant surprise to see you here, standing next to me on the boardwalk, being all normal-like.
Yeah, that tends to happen when you and all your friends go on holiday together. Anyway, I'm getting right to the point because I don't like beating around the bush and I'm not a fan of sappy, fluffy bullshit, just blunt honesty. Do you want to join me on a date tonight?
Lush. Lush.
I completely expected this to happen.
I mean, this is totally in line with Queen Bee's character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Insta-blush. So we have Infinisand and Insta-blush?
Yep.
I instantly blush from head to toe. Here I thought I was going to have to muster up enough bravery to ask Queen Bee out, and BAM! She intercepts me and asks me herself. Don't get too excited there, kid. I was gonna go out to meet up with some friends of mine who live nearby, do an evening meetup in Flotsam, but Queen Bee looks away, frowning at the ground. Well, they bailed on me, hardcore lame-ass style. We'd arranged everything a few days in advance, and now they aren't even returning my texts. You insta-blush too! Daw!
It's super effective.
I swear, if those ladies aren't literally on fire or saving orphans from a building that is literally on fire, I'm having some harsh words with them later. Queen Bee's blush gives me life. Queen Bee's, I had plans, but they got canceled, and that's why I'm asking, actually, is what gives me life. Long and short of it is, nobody wants to just go out and have some fun, and I need cheering up. Pronto. Cheer me up, okay?
Well, obviously nobody's going to be going out and having fun. Did you not see 2020 happen? There's a pandemic, Queen Bee.
This is 20XX, okay?
I'm sorry, Queen Bee. That really sucks. But you know what?
What?
I mean, both are appropriate.
Both of them are... It's not like I like you or anything, baka! That's a summary of what she just did, though. I'm like... We're going for bold end, so I want to do this one. But I also think this one's really funny.
Like, all of them? Very appropriate.
All?
I mean,
That's boring.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
No one should ever deny Queen Bee what she wants. Do they not understand how amazing she is?
Man, bottom is very much a bottom. You don't deserve this.
Fuck that.
That. You know what? They don't deserve you.
Wow. You're cute when you're petty and vindictive, kid. What a simp.
I don't fully know what that means.
Yeah.
But hey, you're right. Fuck them if they don't want to hit the town with me and have a good time. I'd rather do that with you anyway. I'm not going to explain because it's funnier when you don't understand things.
Gosh dang it!
Not the greatest of terms.
I mean, I hear it being used a lot recently. I don't know how old of a term it is. I only heard it recently.
Uh-huh. Okay, apparently you didn't hear about Neopets till high school, so...
Okay, but like I also didn't use the internet.
Still salty about that.
I've had it explained to me twice, I still don't understand. Interesting. So I'm not the only one.
By But it's funny when you don't understand slang.
Wow.
It is. It's funny.
I don't know if chat finds it funny. I mean, they don't know who you are. You're the queen bee. They should be honored that you even chose to grace them with your presence.
If only it's that easy. My non-gamer friends don't feel the same way as the rest of the FOD scene. Moderately tempted to make up slang terms just to confuse Sharky with, but I'm not that kind of mean, so I wouldn't actually do it. I think I have done that. Have I done that? I might have done that.
That wouldn't surprise me! See, that's the thing. If you make up a slang term and everyone, like, just acts like it's a real one, I'll be like, oh, okay, I guess that's a new term.
Sharky's too water spout to get that.
What? Is Flower making up slang now?
Is he or are they real? A fun game for Sharky to guess.
Dang it.
It's not with the juice.
Apple juice or orange juice?
The juice.
I said apple or orange.
Both.
It can't be both.
Why not?
Because that's not how it works.
I have cran cherry juice in my fridge.
Non-gamer friends? Does not compute.
Fucking right. It's so hard to find people these days that don't play games, but let me tell you, they do exist. Case in point, my two best lady friends. There's at least 2 memes in my chat that have no real meaning. We just gradually made them happen to see if my little gremlins would grab onto them and run with it, and they did. It doesn't matter the kind, Sharky. It's the juice. Yeah. Yep.
You're gonna make me cry. One of these days, I'm just gonna be like, I don't understand.
You already do that. I think he's getting it.
That you're breaking me? Is that your plan? Is you just break the shark?
We've been friends since we were little tiny babies. Our mothers are all friends, so when we were born, we became friends by proxy. I grew up with both of these ladies. We've shared so much together over the years. We still all go on mother-daughter outings occasionally. We'll make you a meme Quizlet, Sharky. Help you study. Fancy kosher grape juice.
Is the professor getting schooled?
Well, you know, you give them the Kingdom Hearts quiz, and in return, they give you the slang quiz.
Oh yeah, quiz time. Am I gonna have to make a Kingdom Hearts test after each game?
After each game? Sure. Yep.
Well, it probably wouldn't be after each game, honestly, because there's some,
I was gonna say, you could do it after each game, but the answers change depending which game you're talking about.
That's the point. Well, I joked, I'm like, yes, a standard question for every quiz. How many Xehanorts show up in this game? Well, Two Flower is making his quiz. It's only fair. What quiz is Two Flower making?
Didn't we say we wanted the personality quiz?
Oh, right! I forgot about that.
I also kind of forgot about that. But in effect, this game, if you played it the proper way, kind of is a personality quiz.
Well, I mean, our first playthrough was our two personalities fighting.
How quickly you forget, Goldfish. Man. I was seeing
And Flower.
I was hearing the holiday
forgot.
music when I was out getting my rice yesterday, because the grocery store was playing holiday music already.
Uh-huh.
And then by the time I got home, I just was like, Sharky, the goldfish, was a jolly
I think my ice
happy
cream's here.
soul. Your ice cream's here?
Yeah.
Well, go get your ice cream then. Yes. Technically, I feel like if this game was played, just pick the answers that you like, hidden traits and everything. And, you know, one person playing instead of two of us bickering over which answer to pick. It's already kind of the personality quiz, in effect. But there's two of us, and we didn't do that. Ice cream? Ice cream. I went to an ice cream place, actually, once called Ice Cream, I think, where they made your ice cream on the spot with liquid nitrogen. I think that place was called Ice Cream. That was fun. You can pick whatever. I don't remember what I got because it was so many years ago. Ice cream! I think I finally finished my lunch though. Which means I can have ice cream after this. Liquid nitrogen ice cream is great. Easy to make Dippin' Dots too. Yeah, actually, I think in my sophomore year of high school, my chemistry teacher decided to make liquid nitrogen ice cream. You interrupted me. Excuse you.
Wait, what just happened?
I have a friend who works for a science education program. He brings liquid nitrogen to cons to make ice cream with. Ooh. Yeah, it's fun. And a dope milkshake last night. Yum. Oh, I was saying because Pi put eye cream in the chat that I think there was actually an ice cream place I went like years and years and years ago called Eye Cream, where they make your ice cream on the spot with whatever like mix-in stuff that you want or like whatever flavors using liquid nitrogen.
Oh, see, I heard ice cream. I'm like, oh yes, Apple's getting in the ice cream business to try to take over the world.
Maybe they'll sue that ice cream place that I went to for stealing their thing.
Yeah, because it's whatever. So ice cream, yeah. The best to do in front of little kids is to dip a bread in liquid nitrogen, shake off the droplets, and eat it so you blow smoke out of your nose and mouth.
Oh, apparently there's a thing called, what's it? I think it was called like dragon eggs or something.
What?
And there's like an ice cream and other dessert or something place that I've been to that does it, and it's basically they took like round puff like fruit flavored cereal and they just dipped in liquid nitrogen, so then the cup looks like it's smoking, and when you eat it you're like exhaling the super cold so it looks like you're breathing smoke.
Which is actually part of why he and I are friends, because the first year I met him, I brought a big bottle of rum to the liquid nitrogen ice cream booth and offered it for making ice cream with, and said, take as much as you need from it. Oh no.
Ooh, I want some. I'm like, I
Make
want an ice
chocolate
cream
chip.
machine and also 100 other kitchen gadgets that I definitely don't have space for. But
It's
But
complicated.
compared to them, I've always been the weird one. The loser, if you will. Both of them have successful career paths. One's a teacher, the other a psychologist. Heck, they've had kids already. Oh god. Scary. Scary, scary, scary.
What? Technically, like, either of us could have 2 or 3 kids by now.
Nope. It was a dark spiced rum and vanilla ice cream, and it was so good. That sounds delicious. I'm like,
I was so tipsy after one little bowl.
by this point, no, I could not have 2 or 3 kids because I've been on birth control the whole time. Not the whole time. But I got an IUD a long time ago, so like, literally, no.
You know what I mean, though.
I know. It's terrifying. Don't bring it up again. Look, I was telling you about it earlier that 2 of my friends, who are younger than me, just got engaged last night. And I went, what? And it's like not at all surprising because they've been together for years and they're like living together and they're very domestic about it and everything. But like, they're younger than me. They just got engaged. What do I have to show? I play arcade games for a living, but they think I'm wasting my time and energy. That's probably why those friends ditched me tonight. So fucking unaccomplished.
Hey, that's not being fair to yourself, Queen Bee. You're one of the 4
heavenly gendered regents.
Now, did you forget? That's what the most accomplished. Get back to property. It's fine. I will breathe and I will speak.
Yes, breathe and speak. Sharky and Satan really do combine to make one whole streamer. This is true.
I mean, it's not
We make one whole stream. 3 times a week.
I have a friend who's younger than I am, who has 2 kids and already been divorced at least once, maybe twice, and she can't remember if she married her son's father or not.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's
Like, I'm
scary.
assuming by younger than you mean like maybe me or Sharky's age, which is, oh boy, oh dear, oh dear, oh my.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I know some people have kids like right out of high school or something.
That's a spicy meatball.
That's a spicy something.
Okay, let me try this line again. I like look Dave that's press. Oh no. Oh.
Let me try this line again. Proceeds to not read the line.
Okay. Hey, that's not being fair to yourself, Queen Bee. You're one of the 4 heavenly kings now. Did you forget? That's like the most accomplished thing I could think of.
Me sitting in a dorm with a stuffed fox at my side. Wow, that sounds terrifying. You know what? I
Me sitting
recently
in a
just
room with
also
an
got a
android
new
by my
stuffed
side.
toy because I got a new plushie of a Octo Grim Reaper. It's a little Grim
What?
Reaper with a ghosty buddy like next to its face, and it has octopus tentacles. It's really cute though. It's really cute. I'm really happy. It has a shiny scythe. That was actually the wait. Oh, I haven't put up the new thingy yet. I have to do that.
No, you haven't.
Well, I'll do it after I pay her.
Yeah, because she did. talk about
29,
that.
not
Well,
super young, but eldest is like 9 or 10 years old.
Oh, jeez.
Dear. Yeah, I'm 28, so roughly my age.
I
Which,
mean, I've
oh
done this
dear.
before. I did this before. My oldest brother, I think he's turning 31 this year.
Portion from the cookie says, all your sorrows will vanish in
He's
bed.
turned 33 this year. 34. He's 34. And he's got 6. So, I think the oldest of his is
My bed also
8 or
makes my
9
sorrows
now.
vanish. It's also very comfy. So many stuffies. 35 in February. No kids or pets. I mean, I have pets, because I have my 2 cats. I continue to insist that the only children I will ever have are my cat children. My goal in life is really just to be a crazy cat lady at this point.
I'll be 31 2 weeks and that's with me. My brother doesn't know how to use protection.
Doesn't know how to, or just doesn't want to?
I think both, actually.
Okay, so he doesn't know and doesn't want to know. 43 and I feel like I'm 60. It's okay.
Mood.
That's okay. I think I took back when I was like 21, 22 or something, I was taking those like silly what mental age are you? And I was getting like 40 something, 50 something, you're old, and I was just like, yup, it's the trauma, thanks.
I suddenly feel very young.
This is why you're baby. Yeah, this is why we adopted you.
I mean, I've had people I graduated with been like, yeah, I'm only second or third kid. I'm like, how? You're like 26. Ow!
You mean graduated like high school with, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The people we graduated college with are...
I didn't graduate college.
Okay, whatever. Still, the people you went to college with are not at that point, I think.
None of them I know. I only know one person in a relationship.
I have the soul of a 75-year-old and a horny 14-year-old at the same time.
That's a combo. There are two of those.
Inside. Is one of them Moon?
Is Moon the 75-year-old or the 14-year-old?
Huh? Moon's definitely the 14-year-old.
Both are very hungry, but for very different things.
I'm just tired. I feel like all of us have collectively aged an extra decade of just exhaustion from this year, so...
So did I turn 12?
One is hungry, one is thirsty.
Okay.
Oh, but isn't being thirsty kind of similar to being hungry for eating ass? I used one of those photo recognition software things on a photo of myself and it called me a baby. It was like rude. My fiance gestured at a bed full of stuffies and I was still rude. How dare?
Yeah, it's rude. So what is just hungry for water? I don't think it's hungry for water magic.
It's not exclusive to ass.
I think it's... Of course Anna has that. Of course Anna does.
Haven't we seen this one before? It's part of a balanced diet.
I don't know if I want to be balanced in that diet, personally. Can I be on a different diet instead?
You want all ass?
No! No!
I'll
That's
take
not what I
an
meant.
ice cream diet. Pocky. Yum.
Except if you made Fist of Discomfort itself. Then just maybe you'd be more accomplished.
Right, all cake for
okay.
Sharky.
All cake and ice cream.
Meaning also ass.
No! No! No!
You know how to make a woman feel special.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done being sad about this. I refuse to let a little trifle like this get me down any further. So let's go out and have a fucking great time.
Somebody in my Twitter feed today was like, inside me there are two wolves. One dresses like the love child of Frankenfurter, a unicorn that wants to create everything all the time. The other is a cinnamon roll with anxiety that just wants cuddle, food, love, and consistency. Both are very whatever. Both are very confused most of the time. I'm pretty sure they're wolves. They can't. Agreed. Let's go.
I'm like, alright, time for everyone to decide what their two wolves are.
Cake and ice cream. Am I wrong?
I'm just gonna say there's an extra ... here for you.
Okay. Cake and ice cream are one, and Kingdom Hearts is the other.
Yes, those are the names of your wolves. ... Like, the names of your wolves would be Sora and Xehanort.
But not Riku! Also, why am I the villain?
Huh?
Why am I a villain?
Didn't we say that you were killing it as the villain?
I'm not chilling as the villain, I'm killing as a villain?
Could be both. There are two
One is
wolves.
filled with anxiety and fear of being such a disappointment that everyone will abandon me. The other's
Oh no! Patrick!
I feel fine. What if your wolf just got Norded? It's fine.
Yeah. See?
Oh no, the cake and ice cream got Norded!
No. Sora's the cake and ice cream one, and the Kingdom Hearts one is the one that got Norded.
Fair. Wasn't fair. But also, yeah, no. Get out of the woods.
Baby,
Stop
no!
eating the leg. It's eating me. The fox is dead.
No!
Wait, where exactly are we going?
At least I won't die from COVID. I mean, that's maybe a plus side. Plot twist, the wolf also has COVID. Somewhere fancy as fuck. I'm a classy ass lady and I have classy ass needs. First off, drinks and food. Second, dancing. Third, a romantic stroll on the beach.
And no cake.
Baby, you are not allowed to die of either wolves or COVID. You stop that!
Yeah, at least let Xehanort get you first. Have fun being part of
Well, if Xehanort
group.
gets magic first, then when the wolf bites magic, they're actually biting Xehanort, right?
It's not how Nording works.
They
Unless-
bite Xehanort, and then Xehanort gets released, and then Magic's heart gets released or whatever, and goes back to being Magic.
That would only work if Xehanort went full Terra on this. That all sounds...
Poor Terra.
We'll get into Terra at some point. I mean, I'm
I
actually
love
really pretty-
Terra, but he had the literal worst luck.
Okay.
One of my wolves is Francine, the other wolf is Sharky. Wait, I don't think
Wait.
Sharky's thirsty enough.
Wait. Well, that's Francine. Sharky me or Sharky Anna?
That's a good question. No, see, I figured that the thirsty one is the 14-year-old one, but the other wolf was the 75-year-old, right? So that would be closer to being Francine. Francine has enough thirst for 2 wolves. Oh my. Oh dear. Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Perfect, actually. I just don't know of any classy
Ass.
places here in Flotsam. I
Hell of
guess.
a sentence that I just constructed.
And I'm both sorry and not sorry for it.
Since we were more of a burgers family than a filet mignon family, whenever we came to the beach, we stayed mostly at the cheap eats. Lots of diners, drive-ins, and hot dog stands. What, not dives? Come on! I
Wow.
couldn't tell you what kind of fancy places exist here, if any. Excuse me. As I tried to pick my brain of somewhere befitting of Queen Bee's taste, she takes the initiative once again. She pulls out her phone and starts looking up the local eateries. Not a lot of good choices in this beach city.
Yeah. Flotsam isn't exactly Monte Carlo.
Okay, let's see what I can dig up. Ew. No. Nope. Totally yuck. Gross. Oh, here's one.
Not bad.
4 out of 5 stars. Cozy, trendy cocktail bar and diner with sea-inspired small bites. This place looks hella cute. We are so going to Lagoon.
Watch, it's a strip club.
Nope, it's the same bar that we do the Wake to Conspiracies in.
Did we do another thing here too? Or was that with Ashley?
I think that was Ashley's thingy where she goes on the buffet thing. Next thing I know, we're there. I had no idea this place even existed, but apparently it's a hit with locals and tourists alike. And it's exactly how they describe themselves. Then they go to Applebee's. The tables are illuminated by dimly lit candles, really making it intimate and adding to the cozy atmosphere. This is almost too trendy for my tastes. Yeah, look at this catsup. Super trendy. It's so trendy that the catsup has a cat on it.
Hey, look,
Economical reuse of background art. Huzzah!
There's a penguin as a chef. That's classy.
Yeah. I'm a classy ass lady. Bring you to Red Lobsters.
Oh, predictive texting Applebee's. That's impressive.
Wow. I haven't been to an Applebee's in a long time.
Last time I went, I was with Pastor Friend because he was like, let's go get a drink at Applebee's. Okay, sure. Whatever. And he did that for a while after my relationship ended.
I miss getting drinks at like bars that make me feel classy. So I can pretend for a while that, like Queen Bee, I'm a classy ass lady.
You going to Chili's? Going to Chili's?
I did say pretend. I don't think there's a Chili's anywhere near me, or Applebee's. The very existence of Applebee's is proof there is no loving God. Well, Sharky, what's your response?
Funny, because the pastor took me there.
Both are garbage. Yeah, I'm not really complaining. Bone learned that I frequently type an elongated version of my friend's partner's name on Twitter and now predictive text that for me when I need to pretend yell at her on the internet.
That is amazing. See, I feel like my phone is too stupid. It never remembers some of the stuff I use. So, like, I don't feel like it remembers I even talked about Kingdom Hearts, which is sad.
Every time that my phone tries to suggest duck instead of fuck, I'm like, it's like you don't even know me. My phone doesn't know anything about me.
Is a duck going to a lemonade stand? Thanks for playing our game. I'm one of the writers. I think you say that a lot, Flower. I would type A on my phone and it's like, you want aromatic substitution reaction? She's a stupid chemist.
That's
Seriously.
great. Tap, 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 and it's there. I'm like, I wanted to test this out. I always like those, I never post, but always like to do those, like, start typing a sentence and then just let your phone finish the sentence. The most recent one I saw was start typing out song lyrics and then halfway through just switch to predictive text. When I was a young boy, cry, laugh emojis. That's it. That's all it's predicting.
I was a young boy. Okay, let me try this real quick.
When I was a young boy, my father is a good time to call you today.
When I was a young boy. Yep.
It's a miracle that my predictive text doesn't write smut when I do those. I learned today that Dolph Lundgren has a master's in chemical engineering.
Who is that?
I don't know. I'm gonna try more songs.
Phone. I want to bring up a web browser. Can you allow me to bring up Chrome?
Oh, I'm just typing my predictive text things directly into the Facebook chat with you.
No, I know.
When
But
I was a young
actually
boy
doing
and a
a
girl
little
with hair, I had a good idea. Like, what other songs
But like,
are
I
good
wanted
for
to look
that?
up who that was, and my phone's just like, no, you're not allowed to look up who that is.
What other songs are good for trying this out with?
We're never gonna get through this date, are we?
Okay, fine. Chunky action movie guy from the 80s. Interesting. I did find out from my roommate that I think the person who made Sailor Moon is like an actual astrophysicist or something.
Wait, really?
Uh-huh. Like,
I will-
actually a scientist. It's really cool.
I like doing those on Tumblr where it's like start typing I will in the tags and see what you get because it's tags you've used before, but I never remember the context. Oh.
See,
no.
I'm terrible, so I try to tag things on our Ace Tumblr, but I do not really tag things on my personal Tumblr. So... Although every time I start typing in the Final Fantasy tag on Tumblr, it has something about me complaining about finals like forever ago.
Sounds about right.
I really haven't been to anywhere this hip. In fact, I'm pretty sure the swankiest place I've eaten at is the whole story.
Not the fun hole?
Not the fun hole. The fun hole doesn't exist yet here. But the whole story does.
Well, the fun holes exist, just not the fun hole.
Even the way everyone is dressed in here, so fashion forward, retro 50s style, without being hipster. Queen Bee fits right in with this bunch. She's always styled to perfection. I, on the other hand, look down at my hoodie and let out an exasperated sigh because it is neon yellow. Don't worry about it, kid. You look fine. It's not exactly black tie. We'll be too busy paying attention to each other anyway for you to concern yourself over such trivial matters. Queen Bee locks arms with me and smiles.
Can I just
Look
take
at
a
us.
second and scream a little bit?
Hmm?
So remember how I messaged you about the World Ends With You site that got launched?
Mm-hmm.
That just has a countdown? That ends in like 4 hours.
So we're gonna have to be on the thing.
So like, we're either getting like a game announcement, or we're getting like
Some kind of announcement, I assume.
something. Well, I don't think it's port because they talked about the Switch
It's
version
Doom,
being,
actually.
like,
It's death. We're getting death.
I mean,
That countdown is a timer.
see that's another game that I'm like, man, I would love just doing like a chill run of that for Professor Sharky or something. Like, not
I
only Professor
have
Sharky.
said it before,
It would
and I will say it again. The thing I want most badly in life is like, if I had a magical genie, I feel like I would definitely spend an entire wish on just, can we have an AR localized version of
Well, actually,
The
so
World Ends With
here's the
You
thing on the
in
site.
your own life?
The site right now, if you look at it, it's not just the countdown anymore.
Oh?
There is a picture of an arm holding a phone that has a square on it with some lines. It's very weird. But like, it's somebody holding up like a smartphone.
Please, AR, the world ends with you. Please, AR, the world ends with you. Localized AR, the world ends with you. But like, I mean, it's hard to do because the whole point was that, I mean, I feel like that game is a love letter to Shibuya,
Yes, it is.
and so you can't reach that same level without being very individualized about it.
Yes.
Per location, but
Yes, and you can't
as
do
with
that.
like Pokemon Go and stuff, like, you can't reach that level of specificity at such a broad scale that it
Yes.
applies to every single location in the world.
Yes, exactly.
That said, Your world ends with you would be the best thing ever.
See, I'm just like, if there's a sequel game, please let there be a sequel game. They left on the stupidest cliffhanger, talking about some really big insanity. I want a sequel game, please.
Look at us, a couple of hotties out for a night on the town. We should immortalize this with a selfie. Queen Bee pulls out her phone, holding it up high to get that perfect angle, and snaps our picture. Oh, that's fucking precious. Look!
Just don't put it on Snapchat.
Passes her phone to me, and surprisingly, it's a great photo. Wow, the person who streams for a living has a sense of camera angles and photography. Wow. And I don't look half bad either. You cool if I post this on my social media feed? The Beehive loves to know what I'm up to. That's what I call my followers. Cute name, right? I'm Beyonce, actually. I mean, I started off the route with the Beyonce reference.
I guess only if you tag me.
What's better than a cute picture of me and Queen Bee? A picture of me and Queen Bee getting posted to the world. It's almost like we're a real couple, doing couple things. Wow.
Go for it. Oh, tag me so I can share it with my own hive too?
Don't you only have like 10 followers? And 6 of them are all the regs from the Funplex.
Shh. Yeah, but I really want to make sure Fritzy knows.
She'll be happy to know you're in good hands. You do realize you're probably going to get several hundred followers from this, right?
I did have some inclination that would happen, yes. But I'm not gonna worry about my sudden jump in popularity. I won't be buying a solid gold mansion or anything.
Yeah, that sounds really hot in the summer.
Going out enjoying this moment with you is the only thing on my mind.
You're making me blush, kid. And posted. I'd already silenced my phone, so if I suddenly go viral, it won't interrupt us. Although poor Iris may get slammed by notifications.
Bottom, what did you just do? Stop it, stop it, stop it.
After a short wait, we are brought to our table, we sit down, and menus are handed to us. I'm impressed that even the menus are super hip, down to the sophisticated font choice. Note to self, tell Juniper about the Lagoon's menus. So, what cocktail are you gonna order? All of them sound divine, and I'm having a hard time choosing. Iris likes getting slammed with notifications. She told me so. Oh dear.
I mean, if that's what she's into.
My eyes skim the menu, looking at the alcoholic choices. Funnily enough, they are all named after boats. There's the Catamaran, a citrusy grapefruit tequila libation, the Banana Boat, a rum and banana syrup concoction, the Bow Rider, a rosemary-infused vermouth beverage, ooh, the Caravel, a floral bubbly gin drink, or the Lifeboat, a non-alcoholic coconut lavender lemonade. That sounds good too. Honestly surprised we haven't seen any Iris Thrill 34 and involving USB.
That's kind of impressive. I'm also now wondering how much Rule 34 for Iris have you seen?
I'm like, yet. You haven't seen any yet.
You just mentioned it, so like.
All right, someone in this stream has to do that
You've now willed it into creation.
I'm sure it's there. Finger on the monkey's paw, girl.
But I'm also just like, how much Iris Rule 34 is out there? I don't actually want to know.
I don't want to know. I'm just gonna move on. Quantum fetish mechanics means you've made it so somehow.
It's a tough choice indeed. But I think the one that will quench my thirst is...
Queen Bee.
I knew somebody was gonna say it.
Oh no.
You're the alcoholic.
I mean, what I think sounds good is the Bow Rider.
And it wasn't me! What would the bottom drink? What would the bottom drink?
I don't know. What would Bottom drink? You're
I
the
don't
one
know.
who gets compared to the MCs more often.
I don't know anything about any of this. So, like, it's your choice. But
Alright, your choices are grapefruit, banana, rosemary, floral. Or non-alcohol.
Interesting.
Oh dear.
Interesting. No, you choose.
Respect women juice. Is that the juice? That's the juice.
Anyway, you choose.
Well, I like this one.
One
One
that's
that's
it, right?
Ooh. What a refined drink. A refreshing mix of botanicals and herbs. A classy-ass drink for a classy-ass me.
The Bow Rider. It's a perfect reflection of our evening.
It sounds pretty fucking delicious. Just then, one of the waitstaff passes by and Queen Bee gets their attention. May we have 2 bow riders, please? Me ordering at a bar. Give me a classy-ass drink for classy-ass me.
Baby, are you old enough to drink at a bar?
Well, I mean, nobody should be drinking right now at a bar because there's a goddamn pandemic. All the bars should be closed.
It should be and are 2 very different things, apparently.
Sigh. Yeah, I saw a Facebook post that one of the bars back in the city where we, went to college, was posting about how they're reclosing. So starting.
So, of course.
Bartender looks skeptical of me. I mean orange juice, please.
It's just that question.
Orange juice, please.
What were you saying?
Oh, yeah, so one of the bars that we've been to when we were in college had been posting.
That we were?
Huh?
That we went to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've been to.
Yeah.
Was posting oh, sadly, things are going back into shutdowns, so starting this day will be closed, and I'm just like, why the fuck were you open?
Because they
fucking
wanted to
been
make
open.
money. Because they're like, yes, the restrictions are lightening.
Well,
let's go!
I'm going to message you directly on which one it is so you know why that's not the main draw,
I can only
actually.
think of 4 options.
I messaged you.
Ah.
Anyway, so their main draw is arcade games, right? It's one of those. So, why were they open in the first place is the main draw is to be indoors, inside the location. So they shouldn't have fucking been open. May we have 2 bow riders, please? As we wait for our drinks, I take notice of Queen Bee sitting across from me. The faint candlelight makes Queen Bee's skin glow and her eyes shine fiercely. I can't help but stare at her beauty.
You are absolutely gorgeous.
Bottom just cannot get over it.
No. Bottom is infatuated.
Words fall uncontrollably from my mouth. Are you sure you didn't have a drink already without me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just...
Blushy Queen Bee. It's totally fine, Bottom. You are quite attractive yourself.
I am?
Honestly, I'm quite smitten with you.
You are?
I'm in complete shock. Words can't form in my mouth. I feel dizzy. And my heart is pounding so hard I think it could just collapse at any second.
Are you
This
serious
is what
with the
being in
fun
shock
hole?
is like, right? Thankfully, our drinks are served to us, cutting a knife into my awkward silence. I quickly cut my hands around the glass and take a huge drink.
That's not the smartest idea.
Queen Bee laughs. Slow down there, Bottom. I'd still like to talk to you before you get completely trashed. It takes me a second to realize, but Queen Bee stopped calling me kid.
Yeah? I've leveled up from kid to my actual name, huh? What have I done to deserve this upgrade?
I figured since we're on a date and I really do respect you, I owe that to you. Kid might slip out every now and again due to habit, but it's bottom from here on out. You've earned it.
Is that our name or title?
Both? Both. It's beautiful how Queen Bee speaks my name. Bottom. As if she's learning it for the first time. Bottom from here on out. Just the way I like. A fire sparks deep inside me and I feel tingles across my skin.
This is why this name was amazing.
I feel important, proud, a cut above the rest of the fodder. However, there is still something I yearn to know about Queen Bee. I've been curious since we first met. A name for a name.
So you've got my name now.
But a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. Yeah, what about it?
When do I get to find out yours?
Come again?
Queen Bee is my name. I am a Queen Bee.
You know what I mean.
But I hate my name.
Bottom, will you step on me?
Yeah, that's what Bottom yearns to know about Queen Bee. Is will you step on me?
Will you step on me and how often will you do it? Okay, I won't make you. I understand some secrets are meant to just stay just like that. Secret.
Fuck it, fine. When you give me the sad puppy dog eyes, you force my hand. But if you tell anyone, and I mean anyone, you will have a very angry bee buzzing around you.
My lips are mum.
Are they also Daisy and Rose?
What?
Mums, like chrysanthemums.
Oh. Yeah, I was figuring you were gonna make the or dad joke that Joe just made. Tulips.
Sorry, I played too much Animal Crossing, so now Mums is chrysanthemums. Queen Bee lets out an exasperated sigh. It's Tanvi. Tanvi fucking Khan. Hi, I'm Daisy.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
Does that mean we also have Princess Peach somewhere? This is why you're my other wolf Sharky.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Yeah. me and Joe were just on the same wavelength. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. No offense, Joe.
Alright, time to be constantly thirsty, Sharky.
You say that as he took a drink? You jerk! Like, I literally finished it.
You should be so proud.
I took a drink and you're just like, time to be thirsty. I'm like, gosh dang it. It doesn't help that, like, if I have a drink in front of me, I will just, like, just keep drinking it. Like,
As
keep
one does.
No, but, like, I'll just, like, without even thinking, just be like, oh, I've done my drink in, like, a second. What just happened?
You sip it constantly. I'm finally reaching the end of my coffee after all this time. I should make another one.
That's such a beautiful name. Why do you hate it?
It's such an old-fashioned name, and no one can ever pronounce it correctly. Well, they can pronounce my family name, but they invariably do it like William Shatner in some fucking stupid attempt to charm me. Queen Bee is just easier. People can't fuck up Queen Bee. Because you are subconsciously thirsty. Just not in the same way.
I can understand why I choose to go by Queen Bee. It's not fun having a name nobody can relate to. Honey, oh my gosh, I'm so burpy now. Plenty can understand the reference of Queen Bee. But really do like your real name too. If you'd like, I can refer to you by your real name instead of your gaming handle, even though you just said you hate it.
Just went on for like several lines about how much she hates her real name and doesn't want to be referred to by it. If you'd like, I can refer to you by... Oh god. Bottom! Oh, that's very sweet of you, Bottom. Okay. You can call me Tanvi or Queen Bee. Either way works for me. I'll respond to both. Both names fit her so well, but for me, one name rings true. The one
Queen
that she
Bee.
chose for herself. Bottom, read the room!
I don't know if Bottom knows how to read.
I don't know if Bottom knows how to read rooms. Queen Bee is how I've always known her, and that's who I've fallen for. Seems weird to change it now, especially considering she said she doesn't like it.
Queen Bee. I'll just stick with Queen Bee. Just continue calling you Queen Bee for some reason.
Also, because, I mean, we talk to her, like, out in public all the time. So, I mean, I wouldn't really want to out her name. Bottom is 19, never fucking learned how to read. Is Bottom like 25 or something?
Something like that, yeah.
I know it's a reference, but actually Bottom's like...
Vine?
Huh?
Is that a Vine? So I know that's an old reference, I thought.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was from.
Like,
But I know it's a reference.
I know it's an old reference because I've heard it before. I thought it was a
Bottom is old enough to know better. And yet!
Bottom is stupid.
When you say it, I'm proud to be Queen Bee. I like it much better than when others call me by my handle. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you for not making fun of my name.
I would never really adore you, Queen Bee. I wouldn't poke fun at something that you care a ton about.
You are the fucking best. But look at our drinks. We need a round two.
I think this route, MC is so much more flirty? Question mark. I don't know how to describe it than any other routes.
Thirsty.
Okay, fair.
Thirsty to be stepped on.
Okay, Bottom might want more than just being stepped on.
Forthcoming.
Forthcoming, yeah. More out there?
Like, yes and no, because Bottom's not necessarily saying it out loud, but also because we get to see it. Yes. Forward.
Anna wrote this one. Makes sense. I say that mostly as a joke.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Queen Bee's always quick to change the subject when things start to get too heavy. But still, I gaze down into my glass and it's in fact empty. She makes the player innately more thirsty and expressive and poetic. MC is more Anna in this chapter.
That's totally fair.
I am like, wait, which ones are which? Who wrote which ones? I want to know now.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting. What other scenes was mostly like Anna, or what routes were mostly Anna? So I mean, we've only done two other routes, and this MC is very different than the other two.
So far.
So far.
And, I mean, we also had the Ace MC, right?
Yeah.
So, other three. But...
The second round is indeed in order. Maybe some food to go with?
And I wrote every scene for Ashley, Teo, and Queen Bee. Okay, so also wrote Ashley, who we've been through.
I don't remember. Maybe it's just she wrote Queen Bee a little bit differently. I don't remember Ashley's being exactly like
I mean,
this.
Queen Bee's is more outright step on me.
Yes. Oh, yes.
which, you know, for Queen Bee and how her personality is, I think that
Works.
sort of fits. Ashley's is like, Ashley's a little bit more shy, so it would feel off if MC was so outright like thirsty with Ashley. It would be, I feel like, almost uncomfortable. Son of Queen Bee for the Funplex event and her talk with Percy.
I'm for the Connie game. Come on, chaps. Such sad meows. So funny because I still had my own interpretation. Everyone's writing and I balanced out the discrepancies between the two writing styles.
Meanwhile, sad meows. Maga's upset because he still hasn't left the room.
Like it's just very interesting going from the other MCs, which are very more muted in how they talked, to this one being like, before even having a drink, oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, you're so great. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Cannot control himself. Bottom cannot
Mog
stop.
drunk? Is Mog drunk?
Mog is not drunk. Mog is desperate to get out of the room. Mog keeps reaching for the door handle. I've said this. We've been over this. But Mog cannot leave until the stream is over, so...
So we better get going.
So did you read this already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yes! Let's take a look at the menu. She takes a second to scan it. We should start with a round of oysters. I love eating those gooey little mollusks. So freaking delicious. You do know they are an aphrodisiac, don't you? I respond with my face turning deeply red and hiding it deep in the fold of the menu. Queen Bee laughs wildly and continues reading the menu, ignoring my embarrassment. Mog, you silly kitty. Other times it's been that he's thirsty because their main water thing is outside. But there's water in one of his food bowls right now. So he's just being spoiled. Spoiled and fussy. Fussy Mog boy. Okay, so that means that Percy, Naomi, and Gavin are more of the flower ones then, right?
Yes.
Try to rein in Anna's lengthy internal narration and in turn expand my own to reach midpoint. I think it's a good balance.
Yeah. Like, I've never felt like the internal has been too crazy.
Ultimately, we can't write in entirely the same tone. That
Yeah.
figures. I just want to go exploring, Mom. Let me escape and run rampant.
Like, I feel like the internal monologue has been mostly, I've been like, oh, okay, like, it's been pretty, I feel like it's been mostly consistent.
Yeah.
It's usually when MC opens their mouth that I'm like, wait, what just happened? What?
Well, not even just open mouth, but like what they're actually saying. But I mean, I think more than anything, I would actually say that it's because Queen Bee is such a big character that like MC has to also have more outright personality, or else they're just gonna end up like completely overshadowed and overrun, which does not make a good relationship. So like MC necessarily has to get amped up by comparison, because we did Ashley's and it wasn't this way. I think it's really more because it is Queen Bee, who is such like a big character in personality, that like it has to balance out. But it is interesting.
Yeah.
And I look forward to, I guess, all of the flower routes, since 2/3 of them. Oh wait, who did Juniper's?
Yeah, that's what
Is
I
that
was
also
actually
flower?
just wondering.
Because Naomi and Gavin are last on our list.
Yeah.
And Teo's next, so I guess we're just running through Anna's like pretty early by accident.
The thirst will vanish mostly.
I mean, but first we have to get winked at over and over and over by Teo.
Is she the reason why he winks constantly?
Maybe.
Is she the reason for Infinite Sand?
Maybe. We ended up ordering several small plates of some of the fanciest dishes I could even imagine. Buttered scallops on a bed of mashed parsnips, crab dumplings, roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon shavings, lobster
that makes
ravioli, and
sense.
a creamy butter sauce. This all sounds delicious. Also did Juniper, Ace, and others.
I mean, Molly does all the art.
I mean, Molly does the art, but Molly's not, I think, deciding where to wink or not wink. Because that's part of the writing.
Yeah, she could have made that, but like, the amount of winking, I more mean.
I know how Renpai works. The writer has to put in the like, okay, and now we swap out for wink.
So who decided he's gonna be winking every other sentence?
Both.
That's fair.
Anything food related with Xena because I hate food.
Wonk. That's fair, Flower. That's a mood. Also any liquor.
Alright, Sharky, you've got your buddy.
Yeah, me and Flower. Best buds.
I love food.
I mean, liquor's okay, but I don't know anything about it. That's your thing.
And this all sounds delicious. I miss fancy rice.
And it does the winkies. And is the reason for Infinite Sand existing.
My mouth never tasted an explosion of such decadence, and my stomach was filled to the brim with savory and succulent food.
Why, yes, my mouth never tasted an explosion of such decadence. That is a true statement.
Because you don't taste things.
Exactly. See, you're getting it.
I know. I'm just annoyed by it. Because I
How
love...
are you annoyed at how my mouth works?
Well, you should have more Szechuan food because it'll numb your tongue. You should feel that at least, even if you can't taste. The conversation stuck mostly to the beach adventures of present and past, and before long the check came and went.
It's official. I'm stuffed. Also same bottom.
I'm like, oh no. Wait. Didn't Queen Bee say dancing is next?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Round 1 complete. Next up we gotta dance off all these calories.
A stuffed bottom.
Phrasing.
I mean, Joe knows.
The dance club is right at the end of the boardwalk, a stone's throw away from the beach. How fucking romantic.
Right. I remember that being the main attraction for the night.
Oh? I think you will hold that title by the end of the night, Bottom.
I was wondering which one of them was going to say that.
Is it getting hot in here all of a sudden?
Or is it just Queen Bee? I mean, what?
Not sure how much more of this I can take. Queen Bee is making it very hard to concentrate on anything but my intense feelings for her right now. She just smiles wickedly at me, knowing exactly what she's doing. I am gladly a pawn in Queen Bee's game.
You were named correctly. Okay, yeah, sure. You're right. Maybe we should go out dancing.
All of the commas are gone. I'm just pointing out for how you read this.
There should be apostrophes instead.
Apostrophes are basically just upside down commas, right?
Exactly, uh-huh. Now, right now.
Scene change.
So we're naming the arcade Bottom's Line, right?
I believe that's what we said.
With an apostrophe?
I believe that's what we said.
Okay, good.
Or it could be the bottom line, apostrophe S.
Yes! Yes! That's even better!
Sorry, Flower, but only like a little bit sorry.
We need to keep up the tradition of apostrophe.
Uh-huh. We called a taxi to get back to the boardwalk, and upon arrival, the dance hall is already bumping. People are standing around outside, roped off in a queue. Everyone is wearing their best dancing attire. High heels, form-fitting dresses, button-up shirts, and fancy slacks. Before we go in, I can already hear the oons 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 of the music.
You can hear the what?
The oons oons oons. That's what it says! Oons oons oons. With a Z. So you know it's cool.
Yes, anything that ends in a Z is what's cool.
Exactly. It'll be the bottom line apostrophe Z, actually.
Yes, that's how we know we're cool.
I'm actually impressed. The nightlife here in Flotsam isn't half bad. You choose a good little beach town, Bottom.
Have a good night, Magic.
Hi, Magic. Thanks for joining.
We'll be ending someday.
Hmm?
We'll be ending someday.
Someday. One of my favorite local DJs is playing here tonight. DJ Jazzy J. She's got the hottest beats back in the city. How lucky is it that she's followed us out here?
It's like magic.
Fox?
Extremely lucky.
I honestly know nothing of the nightlight here, nor back at home. Clubs aren't really much my scene. I like the nightlight in my room, plugged in next to my bed. Clubs aren't really much my scene, but I'm willing to try anything to spend more time with Queen Bee.
Yes, you're willing to try more nightlights in your room with Queen Bee.
Or turning out the nightlight. You're so
With
cute
Queen
when you're
Bee.
out of your element. Let's get to it. She locks her arm around mine, and I can feel my core temperature raise. I think I'm ready to face the dungeon of sweaty, beautiful people, but there is one slight problem. Yup.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Y'all are too funny. You're too funny for us. How long do you think this line will take?
As long as it's taking us to go through this date. Oh, my sweet, innocent Bottom. I don't wait in lines. Rule number 1 of life, nothing is worth waiting for. Take the initiative. You just gotta go out there and do it.
But we can't just cut the line. It's illegal. These are in a dance jail. They'll make us do the Macarena.
Don't think of it as cutting so much as advancing our position. One more
Roll
thing.
for initiative. My first session of Pathfinder in my one campaign, we were all outside of a bar that we need to go into for a quest, and like there are options like to sneak in and something like that. And one of the people was like, "I'm just gonna run in." They're like, "Pass the guard." Yeah, I'm just gonna run in. Roll for it. Rolled to the point where the bouncer didn't even notice she got in.
Vroom!
Yeah. What is it?
I need you to muster all the confidence you have and look determined as fuck. You belong here, you deserve this.
Like these?
This sounds exactly like you as Bottom in this situation going, wait, what? I have to act confident?
What is this confidence you speak of?
I put on my best steadfast face and fill my mind with nothing but resolute thought. I belong here. I deserve this.
I belong nowhere. I deserve nothing.
Oh god. Sharky.
The goldfish.
Simple and utter perfection.
And clean?
Queen Bee leans in and kisses me on my cheek. Her lips are delicate, yet compelling. Part of me wants to feel her kisses all over my body, right here and now. What? That escalated really quickly.
Fun? You're in line?
With a newly inspired confidence, Queen Bee leads me to the front of the queue. We approach the bouncer, the noble guardian of the club, the fabled checker of IDs. He lifts a hand up to us and we stop. Queen Bee simply holds out her card, smiling fiercely. We're with Jazz. I can't help myself, but I'm holding my breath in anticipation. The bouncer checks the ID, looks Queen Bee once over, then back at the ID, scrutinizing it with a grimace. It feels like forever, and I'm sure we are just going to get got. We'll be the laughingstock of the club as everyone laughs at us while we trek away, tears in our eyes. Shockingly, he gives us a grumph and waves us in.
You're in front of a club. That's not the time and place for that.
How kinky, indeed. I wait until we are both a good distance inside the building before I let myself show my true emotions.
I can't believe it. How did we... What just...
I'm shouting over the booming oots. It's pretty loud in here, but I think Queen Bee can hear me. She laughs accordingly. Relax, Bottom. Don't ask, just accept how fucking awesome we are. I nod, dumbfoundedly. Before we get to dancing, let's get another drink. I look over at the bar area and there's a big crowd. All those people vying for the attention the barkeep, but most failing. Queen Bee pushes her way to the front of the mass. People easily locks eyes with the bartender. With a few motions of her hand and words, she surprisingly is headed back to me with a couple drinks. I just got us their house cocktail. It was the easiest thing. I take the drink from her and we found a place in the far corner of the club. It's out of the way of most of the people and it's significantly more quiet over here. I take a sip of the cocktail. It's tasty, not what I was expected. Well, actually, I don't know what I was expecting. But it's good. Queen Bee and I continue to take sips of our drinks and exchange provocative glances. We are a mess of smiles, giggles, and looking away sheepishly. The music and the crowd are still too loud for us to properly have a conversation, but we don't need words to communicate. Queen Bee smirks at me. Oh dear.
Wait, what? What is happening?
I have to read this?
Anna! Yes, you do.
Quick, someone donate $15 so that we can make Sharky read this instead.
Why do you hate me so?
I don't hate you, I'm just protecting myself.
So you hate me, got it.
No. I'm just prizing my own self-protection over, protecting you from reading it. Nope, it's your turn to struggle.
Yes!
But I
Thank you,
always
Joe.
have to read this kind of thing.
Thank you, Joe.
Maybe I'll donate $15.
Do not.
It's funnier listening to you have to read it.
Nope.
All
Nope.
aboard the struggle bus!
Choo choo!
I'm like, I've definitely had to read this kind of thing more often. So really, it should be Sharky's turn to struggle with this kind.
They've watched me struggle quite a bit recently. They haven't really been seeing you struggle. So it is time for some
When
safe
do I
struggling.
openly struggle on these? Fine, I will read it. As she scoots in closer to me, she rubs her leg against my own. Delicately, she places a hand on my shoulder and leans over, talking into my ear. So how are you holding up, Bottom? You don't look overly traumatized.
Queen Bee is the thirstiest of the dates by far.
By far. This is certainly one of the more exciting nights in recent history. Taking it all in, I'm feeling... Teo's number 2 and then... Gavin! Oh no.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, wait, oh no. Oh no.
Interesting. This is gonna be...
Well, Gavin's last, so that's a later problem. Teo's next though, so oh no.
We're gonna have 2 thirsts in a row.
Oh dear. Maybe we should have thought that through more.
We didn't know, and
We
it's
didn't know. Taking it all in, I'm feeling, don't you miss Percy? Yep.
Great. I'm ready to not hit the dance floor.
This is fantastic. I'm loving the party atmosphere and digging the tunes. The liquor is hitting me just right, and I'm ready to strut my stuff on the dance floor with Queen Bee.
This is gonna go terribly.
Sweet, sad Percy.
I'm so ready to get my dance on. Would you like to join me?
Percy is more of a gentle heart-to-heart. That's my preferred style. You know mine too.
Heart to heart.
Heart-to-heart transplant?
No, I don't think that's what happens on the day.
Hmm?
I don't think there's a transplant on the day.
But how romantic would that be? Some of the later lines can be saucy. You fucking know it. But I'm waiting for the right song with the right beat to really go all out on the dance floor. As if on cue, Queen Bee crooks her head, catching the beat she's been waiting for. She jumps out of her seat, grabs a hold of my wrist, and leads me deep into the dancing crowd. Naomi's is sweet and awkward, Gavin's is mature and sincere, Juniper's is light and friendly.
It kind of makes sense Naomi's just going to be awkward. No offense, Naomi.
Naomi is like the cute awkward, though. Bottom's just awkward.
God, Bottom is just pure awkward.
Hey, let's fucking bang, okay?
Is she from Boston? Boston?
Is that how Boston talks?
It's pure Anna. Unfiltered Anna.
People are jumping up and down, gyrating their hips, shaking one's booty. Queen Bee forces her way through several people, not even taking the time to notice us squeeze through, too entranced by the music.
Shaking one's booty? Does that mean,
Bottom
is
shaking bottom.
Yeah, I was about to say, is Bottom gonna shake their bottom?
Yep. So actually, Bottom's just having a seizure.
Oh no!
But soon, the crowd noise falls away. My focus is entirely on Queen Bee, the beat and the swaying of her hips. Once we make it into the inner circle of the crowd, we find a place on the floor that's not shoulder to shoulder. Feeling the electrifying energy, we dance without hesitation. Not another medical incident! I mean, if the entirety of Bottom is shaking. I may not know all the current club moves, but I don't let that stop me. Both Queen Bee and I are laughing and smiling and moving our bodies. As a particularly sick beat drops, Queen Bee and I lock eyes. She sways closer to me, swinging her hips alluringly. She closes in the distance between us, our bodies touching, rubbing up against another.
I am sorry, but I am laughing at how hysterical this is written. And
This
I don't
is-
mean that.
So thirsty.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just finding this hilarious.
In that way that we do, being not thirsty ourselves.
Yeah.
Everyone's kidding about sex, right? Like they're not actually that
See,
thirsty.
people saying that's not enough lead up to these dates. I'm trying to predict it. See, but like, I don't.
But I feel like seeing as
Us
we are
as
also
aces.
ace, I guess we're biased. But I mean,
Yeah, we're biased.
I
I'm like, no.
like it. This is tame
Like-
for some people.
I'm like, at least for Percy's, I feel like there was a lot of lead up.
Percy's, there's plenty of lead up. I mean, we haven't done Naomi or Gavin's or Juniper's yet.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a different kind of romance.
Yes.
I feel like the heart-to-hearting is definitely more of my preference as well. Like,
Yeah, there is a big drastic difference between the two. That is true.
there's a big contrast here, but I also think like they're different characters.
Yeah, so
I can't
the lead up-
imagine. Well, I can imagine Queen Bee also having a deep heart-to-heart as a character, but not really as like her date. Like that's not what she wants. Whereas Percy, yeah, he walks by the ocean and just takes in the feeling of being there.
And Ashley's
makes
just like,
sense.
yeah, let's go do bingo. Let's just do bingo or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
Like, I
different
feel like-
characters like different things, so I feel like that contrast isn't that bad to me.
yeah, like I wouldn't want.
Also, people who think that heart-to-hearts are not romantic, that's their own problem.
like I I think that if all of them had the same type of lead off or the same level, it would have put me off way more because I'd be so confused.
Yeah, I'm
Personally.
I mean, I'm like, oh god, I have to read this. So if every route was like this, I'd just be like, oh no. Do we have to go through all the routes? Oh
Like,
no.
no way I can make a gray state hot. But I did try to add some hot to Domino and Jinx. But I mean, like, that's fair to want to try to add a little bit of it. Like, I wouldn't blame people to be like, can we just have, like, a tiny bit?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
so it's
all a
not just
balance, I
total
guess.
heart-to-heart, like...
It's a balance, I guess, because I think,
Yeah.
like, the thing with the heart-to-heart is, like, the romance isn't romantic enough. It's like, what's more intimate? Honestly,
Sex,
what's more
apparently.
intimate? Yeah, people have sex with strangers. That's not intimacy. People constantly confuse love and lust, and that's a whole separate thing.
Yes. But, like, yeah, we're kind of biased, so...
Yeah, also it's a whole new setting. Like, the whole customer working relationship can make it kind of hard. Here on the beach trip, there's freedom.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when it's, like, dating your coworkers. How does that work? Like, that's an interesting,
Hey,
thing.
Gavin, just for no particular reason, but what do you think of coworkers dating each other? By the way, not for any particular reason, but just curious.
What about coworkers dating each other, i.e. you?
We'll get to him. He's last. Remember, he's last on the list.
But no, I personally think it is very fine, the way that you've done it. If you want to add a little bit, go for it. Like, but don't force yourself. At least I don't think you should force yourself.
I mean, I think Flower's the writing expert here. So technically, like, do what you think is best.
Yes.
But I don't... Obviously, also being Ace biased. But I don't think that the romance isn't romantic enough, because I really do think, like, the heart-to-heart thing is... It's a very intimate experience with people. And so,
Yeah.
like, that closeness, I feel like, is more... appropriate? Not appropriate. But, like, the closeness of a heart-to-heart is more intimate than going on a date talking about how you want to bang.
80s workplace sitcom so unavoidable to date a coworker customer. But for the new challenger, I'm trying to flip the power dynamic a little. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited.
Outstretching her arms to the sky, she twirls her arms to the beat, and I respond with bobbing my shoulders. Also, I mean... There's Hustle Cat as well, where you date only your coworkers. In one case, your boss. And by the way, all of them turned cats, so...
You're the team manager, but they hire you to work for them. You can't fire anyone, and most are a promotion organization. Yeah, that's a very different power dynamic.
Interesting.
But also, yeah, Hustle Cat. That's,
That one was straight out just... You are dating your fellow coworkers. They call you their cat herder often.
Also Hustle Cat.
Outstretching her arms to the sky, she twirls her arms to the beat, and I respond with bobbing my shoulders. Our eye contact doesn't break, and it's powerfully intense. I'm drawn in, and it's hard to let go. Ah yes, the chaos coordinator. So you're Gavin. But also, like, kind of, from the sounds of it.
Also, like, kind of.
Pinball cleric.
He's a pinball cleric. Ba ba da 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 da. A pinball cleric.
Eventually, the music stops. It's time for DJ Jazzy J to take her break.
Every time I hear that, I want to just think DJ Jazzy Jeff.
I'm sweaty and sticky and smiling from all the fun we've had. Queen Bee winks at me.
Gavin
and/or kindergarten teacher.
I mean, so Gavin?
Yeah. I mean, Gavin's the one who's like, I like chaos and coordinating it and organizing it. So I'm like, yes, the chaos coordinator. Gavin. Would you like to go somewhere more secluded? Shall we take this outside?
Well, I don't think we're going to be doing that here. I'd like that very much.
I'm like, I don't want to really imagine Gavin as the kindergarten teacher of the group because otherwise he ends up with Naomi, and that's also,
He's a bit too steady for that job.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So?
We wave goodbye and good riddance to the loud music and the party lifestyle. What greets us is the serene sounds of the ocean, the soft cry of the waves clashing atop the sand, the delicate song of the breeze as it gently nips at our skin, the silence of the stars. Queen Bee clings onto my arm and we walk along the shore. For several minutes, we say nothing, step by step, just enjoying the quietness of each other. We walk off the tipsiness from the drinks, the bebop of the club, the ache in our muscles from the day. This is an abrupt shift.
Basically, roll up, like, your team can go pro. And they say, okay, then you're the coach and I have to do all the work. And you're like, that's not what I meant. They're like, too late, get to work, buddy!
I mean, if this is what you want, then you gotta work for it. This is your goal. You do it.
You have to be at
Get to
least
work,
slightly
buddy!
confident. To teach small humans. Source, I teach small humans, and I'm certified at leading conquerors. Yeah, and this is a very big shift from that seed to, yeah, let's just walk on the beach, aren't blend on the arms and just walking.
I feel like this is a more abrupt shift, actually.
Yeah.
Also, I could never teach small humans, so you have my respect, Pi. You disregard it all. In this moment, it's me and Queen Bee. I wouldn't have it any other way. Queen Bee leans gently into me and lays her head against my shoulder. Bottom, ever since I've known you, you've treated me with respect.
Have we?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have respect to Queen Bee.
If step on me is showing respect.
I mean, that's a form of respect, I guess.
I mean, like, you treat me like an actual fucking real person. So many people treat me as if I'm some celebrity and just try to woo me for their own pride. Others just blatantly troll me because I'm a woman. I just want to be treated, you know, well, like most people want to be treated. And you do, Bottom. So thank you. Once again, I can feel my heart quicken and my cheeks flush. The mood is perfect, and I just want to be even closer to Queen Bee. I turn to face her, taking her hands in mine, our fingers intertwine, and I look her in the eyes.
You're the best, Queen Bee.
Queen Bee blushes and looks away hesitantly.
I mean it. You truly are the queen among the rest.
She looks back at me with a wild look in her eyes and a smirk on her lips. I can read her body language, and it's contagious. No words are needed to convey our desires. We both dive in. Huxley, I have faith in their dream. If they do become a tyrant, well, sic semper tyrannis, eh? Menacing smart. I look forward to learning about Loxley.
No, that sounds amazing. Like, sounds like he is greatest. Can I have more Loxley?
So, are you looking forward to having to voice Loxley?
Wait, I'm voicing Loxley?
I don't know, we haven't decided yet. Look forward to locking lips with Loxley.
I mean, maybe?
I mean, yeah, I
Maybe
guess
voicing?
that will be one of the routes, right?
Well, we're doing an ace route first, right?
Presumably.
We're gonna transition our ace route to an ace route?
Hmm?
Or this game ace route to the next game ace route?
Mm-hmm.
Also, That's an interesting worded sentence. Both dive in. Okay.
Queen Bee grabs at my clothes and pulls me in close. Finally, our lips meet, pent-up passion from months of wanting and waiting. My arms glide down her back as I embrace her, longing to feel her body up next to mine. See, again, I'm the one who always reads this. Source. You made me switch during the Dream Daddy one that was like this.
Okay, but that was also like...
That one went explicit.
But that was also like, I was voicing the entire scene for like half an hour at that point, and I'm like...
Yes, but you were also like, I'm not comfortable reading this.
Oh my gosh.
How did we get a T rating? I mean, I guess as long as it's not actually explicit.
Yeah,
at this point, she's grabbing at Bottom's clothes, but they haven't actually removed any clothes. You didn't say cock.
It's just like reading this again after years. How did we get this rating?
I mean, I think they said dicks when there's dicks being drawn.
Mild suggestive themes, Flower.
Yeah. Our kisses are a mix of delicate touches and forceful caresses, our lips only parting to make intense eye contact before delving right back in.
Uh-huh.
The next time we have a steamy scene, you are reading it.
Oh.
I'm always the one stuck reading the actual, like, borderline smutty stuff. Next time's your turn. You're doing Teo's.
What? Who says Teo's is gonna be smutty?
Flower?
No.
Well, Flower said it would be thirsty. Used the phrase ding-dong for that. Fair, I guess?
This one is... Flower said this one is by far the thirstiest, and Flower... And Teo is just number 2. Did it say...
We'll see. We'll see. For how much Teo flirts, I would not be surprised if it's less overt, but still there.
Mm.
But we'll see. Anyway, if it's not in this game, whatever game, the next super thirsty one, you're reading the scene.
Probably gonna flip and be Piranha. No,
whenever we go back to Osmafia.
Yeah, someday.
Our carnality is fierce, nothing keeping us apart. I lit her kisses along her collarbone as I squeeze her hips. She nips on my neck, her hands grasping desperately on my back.
Why?
Each of us take turns leading the other in thirsty display of affection. My mind is a blur, and all I can think of is the wonderful woman in front of me. It's heating up, but in a turn of events, Queen Bee slows it down with a deliciously long kiss. Our lips linger until finally she parts from me, letting a heavy sigh fall from mouth.
Why?
What?
Why?
Can I ask you something important?
Of course.
Can we just stay like this?
I say this is a 10, Tay was a 7, Percy and Gavin are 4, Juniper's a 3, Amy and Ashley are 2.
Okay. Well, Percy was fine, so I guess Gavin's will be fine.
Are you sure this is a 10 and not like a 14?
I would say this is probably a 20? 20. Let's go with 20. No, it's not, because it's not explicit.
It's not explicit.
Yet, at least. I'm assuming it doesn't get actually explicit.
No, T rating.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, stuck in this position forever? I'm sure eventually I would need to use my arm again. It helps me do things like write, book, gaming.
Queen Bee laughs lightly. I mean metaphysically. Here, in our current situation. Like, we are obviously attracted to each other, but I'm not ready to jump into a typical relationship role of being partners. That's not exactly what I was expecting Queen Bee to ask me, and frankly, I'm not quite sure how to take it. Ooh. Traits-wise, we would be basic.
Yes,
Quick save.
but it would also kindly meta exists.
You're misinterpreting what kindly meta is.
What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm thinking that traits-wise, it's this one. So...
Are we just going to stick with the traits?
And the basic is technically a valid choice.
It is.
Right? Like,
okay.
Flower has said that repeatedly. Basic does not mean it's invalid.
Yeah.
So
it is very
basically,
valid.
like, is valid as well. Anyway, I quick saved, so if we fuck everything up, we can just go back. I always thought when two people love each other very much, they inevitably become partners, right? This is what society has taught me, because mononormativity says that that's what you have to do.
I'm not saying no. I just think I need a little more clarification on it.
Yeah, the kindly meta is I'm scared they'll be mad, so I will be nice as possible always. It is not kindly is an option, therefore it's the correct option. It's a meta on the part of the player, not the writer, Sharky.
What does it mean to be together yet not?
Thank you for immediately not shutting me down. I appreciate that. Let me explain. It's not that I don't want to be together with you. I do. I cherish you and I love all the time we spend together. I'm just not ready for the label of being in a relationship or partner. I am more in the mindset. I'm gonna take it one step at a time. Enjoy our time together and see how that blossoms.
So is this more of a casual thing?
No, not at all. I'm still dedicated to you, the only person I care for. I just want to take it slowly, have an open communication about what we're doing, and not put a label on it. We have a seat by the waves as I put my thoughts together.
An outfit. I think I get it. Everything is still gonna be the same. We're going at a slower pace, not going around saying so and so is my partner.
It's not official yet. Although I'm just like, oh no. The amount of sand that's gonna get into her skirt because it's off the towel.
Yeah.
Priorities. Exactly. I've been hurt by too many people in the past, and right now, I don't want to fuck anything up going into this new experience with you. Pardon my ambiguity in the matter. This is just what feels right in the moment.
I understand about being hurt in the past. If this is what you need, I would be the one by your side during this time.
It's gritty? What? Are they in Philly? The whole beach is gritty.
Oh no, that's terrifying. What would the water be at that point? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I want to Photoshop that together now.
No. Oh no. No, what you should do is just take this picture and then just in the background, like in the water, you just see Gritty's face. Just watching them like, I'm here.
Don't tempt me.
I'm tempting you.
Alright, print screen. Prepare for silliness after this, I guess.
Prepare for Gritty. Oh dear. One quick other question.
Shoot.
I'm not calling you my partner. What should I call you?
You may call me my queen, of course. Queen Bee throws her head back and laughs, breaking up the seriousness of the conversation. Something tells me she's only half joking and half being serious, and I can't help but laugh along too. But seriously, whatever feels comfortable. The person I spend my time with romantically, physically, and emotionally works. We can reevaluate things as they continue to grow and as we continue to change. Queen Bee smiles warmly at me, and I smile back. She's so brave to talk openly about her feelings, and it makes me appreciate this moment even more. Today on I Didn't Know I Was Into That.
Oh my gosh.
What, into Gritty watching you as you have a cute romantic beach date?
Calling your partner my queen?
Both at the same time? Sharky got it.
Both at the same time. Got it.
Now, where were we before I interrupted our carnal conversation with words? I rest my hand on Queen Bee's cheek and kiss her gently. You leave Gritty out of my romantic life. But
Okay,
he just
saying
wants to be there.
Saying and will leave Gritty out of your romantic life, but Gritty won't leave Gritty out of your romantic life, because Gritty is everything, apparently. I think somebody today, I heard, was joking, Gritty was their Lord and Savior. Right here.
Like, oh, I know, I need to go back for a screenshot.
Of what?
This.
Oh, maybe. Hashtag it.
Of the,
You're gonna have to go pretty fast.
Okay, got it.
Oh no. Right click.
Yeah, but right click, the characters are still there. I was trying to get the screenshot,
Where it was no characters.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of figured that's what you were doing, and that's why I was like, oh no. Oh no. Ah! Stop this. Let's continue the game.
And we spend the rest of the night entangled in each other's arms.
The end.
And only arms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Queen Bee and I found each other. I'd called our lunchtime party the high water mark, one perfect moment in time. But I was wrong. This was it. And in the difficult weeks ahead, I'd cling to that high water mark in hopes the wave would roll my way again.
Send that file over Discord later.
Flower, you don't actually want to do that because you don't actually want to see what horror I'm about to do.
Which horror are you about to do?
The one I said I would do.
Gritty everywhere? Gritty becomes one with the universe?
Only with the sand.
Oh no, Flower, do you want Gritty everywhere?
As I said, you don't actually want to see that.
Well,
So you don't actually need to send the file over.
maybe Flower wants the Gritty. That's That's up the flower.
I'm going to the hut, Wamwork, in hopes the wave would roll my way again.
Level 5 of Arcade Spirits completed. I'm here to enable your chaos. Yes!
Oh dear.
Well, thank you all for joining. The chaos.
Oh, it didn't have a... Because it doesn't go over who you're, like, highest with, I guess,
No.
because we just had the date.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back.
So far, you've scored 15,550 points. You're winning friends and influencing people. Oh, and pizza fact time! 3 of the top 10 weeks of pizza consumption occur in January. More pizza is consumed during the big game week than any other week of the year. Also, Gritty is there. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to level 6?
And save again. For good measure.
I can't wait to see the art pop up of Gritty.
Yep.
This is going to be amazing, and I think I'm going to need to send it to people.
You're going to send it to people?
Oh, yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, yes.
Thanks everyone for joining. And
Back on Wednesday.
only a
as
little bit
always.
sorry for what you're all going to witness in Discord later, I guess.
Here's a question. Are we going to be streaming Friday?
Friday? If you want to.
I mean, I don't know if you're available for it.
I think I should be home by then.
Because I'm not doing anything with my life. So, if you're not, maybe Solo Sharky? I don't know if you are.
I think I'll be able to. Now back to Jo writing her own lewd stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe this inspired you.
Maybe?
Some thirst-spiration.
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, that's it. Good night.
Night.
Thanksgiving at the Pie Palace is very chill this year. Yeah.
Good night.